Welcome, dear listener. Breathe in softly, breathe out slow. You have found a quiet path. Here, in the realm of whispers, we walk where the world is kind, where trees speak gently, and where the night remembers your name. My voice will return to you like a small lantern in the dark, warm, unhurried, and always close at hand. Each tale will follow a boy named Auren, curious, bright, and tender of heart. He was born beneath these patient stars, and together we will wander at his side through moonlit pines, silver brooks, and meadows that drift toward sleep. Nothing here will chase you. Nothing here will ask you to hurry. We will move the way moss grows and water writes, slowly, kindly, and without demand. If you choose to rest, lie as the grasses lie. Let your thoughts unlace like tired shoes. Let your breathing be the tide, in and out, and know that you are safe. When you return, whether tomorrow or some other gentle night, this greeting will meet you at the gate, and Auren will be waiting on the path, hand lifted in a quiet hello. For now, let the world grow soft around you. Let the stars keep their easy watch. Let the pines hum your name into stillness. Breathe in like the tide. Breathe out like a bell fading. Welcome to the realm of whispers. And now, if you're ready, let us begin our first journey with Auren, the path of moss and dew. Tonight, the path is a soft thread of moss between silver pines. Each needle holds a pearl of moonlight, and the pearls do not fall. Auren walks barefoot, and the ground rises to greet his feet with the patience of old friends. He breathes the forest in, warm and resin sweet, and breathes the world out, light as a lantern dimming. The night hears him. It hums the simple yes that belongs to trees and water and stones that sleep. Somewhere, the brook turns a page it has read 1,000 times, and still it smiles at the ending. Breathe in like the tide. Breathe out like a bell fading. You are safe. You are quiet. You are here. A fern brushes Auren's ankle and unfurls like a sigh, remembering how to be a sigh. He touches the frond with 2 fingers. The fern drinks the moonlight through his touch and gives back a tiny coolness, green and kind. Thank you, Auren whispers. His voice is the size of a moth's footstep. From the earth rise light bells, small, round, and breathing. They are not fire and not stars, but a third thing, gentle and content to be itself. They gather near his knees as if he is a story they have heard before, a good one that ends in rest. Auren lifts his hand and the bells bow in the air, chiming so quietly the sound arrives as warmth first. He laughs, the small kind of laugh that never startles anyone, and the bells answer with a brighter hush. Breathe in like the tide. Breathe out like a bell fading. You are safe. You are quiet. You are here. The path narrows between roots that move like slow rivers in the soil. Auren steps over them, careful, grateful, and the roots feel his care and keep still for him. Above, an owl stitches 2 branches together with its shadow, then unthreads them again, leaving the night more neatly folded than before. He pauses beside a pine whose bark keeps the memory of winter and summer at once. He lays his palm against the trunk. The pine answers with a low, round hum, a sound of sap traveling, of rain resting in the heartwood, of years stacked carefully like sleeping cats. Auren closes his eyes. In the hum he hears the rustle of cones, the featherweight of first snow, the bright knuckle of sunlight that lingers long after dusk. He does not need to understand the language to be comforted by it. A breeze tidies the grove. It combs the needles back from the path, smooths the moss, tucks the crickets under their grass blankets. Nothing is asked, nothing is hurried. Breathe in like the tide. Breathe out like a bell fading. You are safe, you are quiet, you are here. The light bells drift ahead, a slow lantern procession that never needs to arrive anywhere to be complete. They float at knee height, then at hip height, then lower again, as if tasting the air for sweet places. Auren follows, and the path seems pleased to be chosen. He notices small things, a pebble with a white ring, like a moon tied around it, a patch of clover that smells of a childhood he has not yet lived, a spider web threaded with dew, each drop a bead of patient silver. He stops by the web and, not touching, admires. The spider is asleep in the center, legs folded into the neatness of trust. Auren bows. The web keeps its silence, which is the right reply. Breathe in like the tide. Breathe out like a bell fading. You are safe, you are quiet, you are here. Where the path bends, the ground dips to a shallow hollow where mist rests like milk in a bowl. Auren steps through it and feels the cool on his shins, the way water remembers its cloud shape before it falls. Beyond the hollow, the brook comes closer, tidying the moon into ribbons along its surface. He kneels at the bank. Pebbles look up from the clear water like old stars that have chosen the comfort of gravity. Auren cups his hands and drinks. The water tastes like pears that fell gently into grass, like laughter softened by leaves, like rain deciding to be kind. The light bells hang above the brook and ring so quietly that Auren only feels the sound, a warmth resting on the back of his wrist. He dips the wrist into the water, and the warmth and the cool learn each other and agree to share. Breathe in like the tide. Breathe out like a bell fading. You are safe, you are quiet, you are here. Across the brook, dusk hares gather, ears thin as leaves. The smallest one makes a single brave hop and bows, which is how hares say sleep well. Auren bows back, his hair moves like grass in the smallest wind. He sits on a root shaped like a friendly chair. The root remembers many sitters, fox, fawn, rain, sunlight, and adds Auren to the list without fuss. He rests his elbows on his knees and watches the current carry tiny boats of foam that are not in a hurry to reach the sea. Do you ever tire of traveling? He asks the water. The brook answers by doing what it loves, moving softly around a pebble, braiding and unbraiding light, refusing to rush. Auren understands. Breathe in like the tide. Breathe out like a bell fading. You are safe, you are quiet, you are here. He lifts his gaze to the pines. Their tops are dark cups filled with silver. Somewhere deeper in the grove, a branch lets go of the day with a sound like a single note of kindness. A moth arrives, white as a snowflake thinking. It lands on Auren's sleeve and opens and closes its wings. Each breath paints the air with a small light, not bright, not dim, but exactly right for resting. The light bells greet the moth the way quiet things greet each other, by becoming more themselves. Their chiming grows even softer, which is to say, more complete. Auren strokes the air near the moth without touching it. Thank you for your lantern, he says. The moth makes a sound too light to measure, like silk drawn through still water. Breathe in like the tide. Breathe out like a bell fading. You are safe, you are quiet, you are here. The path asks nothing, offers everything. It leads along the brook and then beside a low rise where the moss is thick as a story well told. Auren walks with his hands open so the night can place its calm in them. He counts breaths, not steps. One for the sky, one for the water, one for the soft earth that agrees always to hold him. When the counting ends, he begins again, and the numbers are round and drowsy. A cluster of small mushrooms gathers at a stump like pale umbrellas closed for the evening. Auren bows to them as to elders. They return the courtesy by releasing a cool scent, clean as new rain. A tiny beetle climbs the stump with the gravity of a pilgrim. It pauses by a fleck of lichen and waits until the world is exactly right for continuing, which is now. Auren smiles and learns from the beetle the holiness of slow. Breathe in like the tide. Breathe out like a bell fading. You are safe. You are quiet. You are here. The grove widens into a small clearing where the moss is as plush as patience. It is not a meadow, not yet, only a place where the trees have stepped back to listen better. The moon takes off her shoes and walks barefoot across the clearing. Auren sits. He rests his spine against a stone that keeps the day's warmth folded inside like a letter. The stone, pleased to be useful, begins to share. Around him the light bells arrange themselves in a loose circle, leaving gaps where the night can breathe. The moth settles on a reed and opens and closes its paper-thin wings. Light, rest, light, rest. He lets his thoughts unlace like tired boots. They become small leaves and float in the quiet, content to be leaves and nothing more. One by one, they drift to the edge of the clearing and nest among the roots until morning. Breathe in like the tide. Breathe out like a bell fading. You are safe. You are quiet. You are here. The pines resume their hum, not louder, never loud, only closer, as if they have pulled their chairs nearer the fire of the night. Auren listens with the whole of himself. In the hum, he hears gentle catalogues of goodness, cones warmed by sun, snow waiting its turn, roots passing water hand to hand like a bowl of sweet tea. He breathes in, counting to 4. He breathes out, counting to 5. Again, 4. And 5. The numbers grow soft and round like pebbles turned over by the brook until all their edges agree to be smooth. Breathe in like the tide. Breathe out like a bell fading. You are safe. You are quiet. You are here. Long pause. Auren lies back on the moss. It remembers other sleepers and makes room without question. The night is a shawl. The stars are careful pins. Clouds wander across the moon, not to hide her, but to make her light a little sleepier. Shadows blur. Edges soften. The brook continues its silver handwriting. It writes the same line again and again because the line is good and true. The line says, "Rest is allowed." The light bells dim to a memory of glow. The moth's lantern becomes pearl pale and still. The owl, satisfied that all questions can wait, folds its query into one wing and dreams the rest. Auren closes his eyes, not to end the journey, but to listen better. Inside the dark, he hears the pine hum become his own breath, and his breath become the tide. The tide moves in the smallest shell at the edge of the world, and in the smallest room behind his ribs. Breathe in like the tide. Breathe out like a bell fading. You are safe. You are quiet. You are here. He thinks of nothing and of everything gentle. Hands warmed by cups. Windows that remember rain. Blankets that never forget the shape they are keeping. The clearing holds him the way a cupped palm holds a sparrow that has agreed to rest. The stone behind him gives back the last of its day warmth, thread by thread, until the night and Auren and the stone are one soft temperature called enough. From the far side of the grove, the wind arrives with a small list of good news. The grass has forgiven the day for being bright. The cones are content with their many doors. The stars will take turns so none grows tired. Thank you, Auren whispers again, because gratitude is a key that opens every quiet. The night nods, which is to say, it continues to be night. Breathe in like the tide. Breathe out like a bell fading. You are safe. You are quiet. You are here. When he opens his eyes, the world has not moved, and this is the best kind of miracle. The path is still a soft thread. The pines still bear their silver. The brook still writes the same good line. Auren rises, not because he must, but because the moss has given him back to standing the way a kind chair returns a guest. He brushes the crumbs of moonlight from his sleeves and watches them fall back to the clearing, glad to be home. The light bells lift again, willing to guide him a little farther, only a little, to where the path leans toward a meadow that will be there whenever he is ready. He answers with a nod, small as a seed. Before he goes, he turns to the stone, the moth, the fern, the roots, the web, the water, and the patient trees. He bows to each in turn. The bow takes a while, because the night contains many good things. Breathe in like the tide. Breathe out like a bell fading. You are safe. You are quiet. You are here. Auren steps once more onto the moss-threaded path. The forest keeps its soft promise to hold the edges of the world steady until morning. He walks at the pace of kindness. The bells drift. The brook writes. The pines hum. And the night, pleased with the stillness it has made, settles a little deeper and rests. The meadow keeps its promise of quiet. The light bells lift like mild constellations and drift toward the darker trees. Auren rises at the pace of kindness and follows the ribbon of moss as it narrows. Grass gives way to needles that shine with a breath of silver. The brook comes a little nearer, writing wider, slower lines. The moon climbs a finger higher, making every trunk a soft pillar of light. At the grove's edge, the night gathers itself, not louder, only closer, and a low note wakes beneath Auren's palm as he touches the first great pine. The bells hover, dim and warm. A tiny leaf-shaped wisp unfolds from Auren's sleeve and settles on his shoulder, a lantern made of breathing. Together they step beneath the tall boughs, where roots trade whispers and bark remembers rain. The forest hum spreads root to root, round and kind. The path of moss and dew becomes a rested memory. And here begins in the hum of the silver pines. The first pine greets Auren with a low, round note that seems to rise from the roots and curl through the bark. He places his hand against the trunk, and warmth answers his palm like a hearth that knows his name. The note travels outward, root to root, soil to soil, until the whole grove seems to breathe one long, kind breath. From the fold of his sleeve, a small spirit wakes. A leaf-shaped wisp with a pearl of light at its center lifts into the night and hovers by his cheek. Auren smiles. Lumen, he whispers, and the wisp brightens as if the name were a sip of honey. Needles shiver and settle. Moonlight threads along the branches, silver on silver. Between the roots, star moss pulses, dim, bright dim, marking a path that asks nothing of his feet and yet is pleased to be followed. Auren walks at the pace of kindness. Lumen drifts beside him, a lantern made of breathing. Where the spirit passes, the air remembers spring and carries a hint of pine-sweet rain. The grove deepens. Trunks rise like pillars holding the sky's quiet ceiling. Somewhere, a small cone loosens with a sigh the size of a feather landing. He stops by a tree whose bark shines as though the moon had lingered to write her initial there. His hand rests on the smoothest place. The hum climbs a note and then settles, the way a cat kneads and then curls. Auren closes his eyes. In the sound, he hears softened weather, snow remembering its shape after melting, rain choosing not to hurry, sunlight stored like jars on a shelf. The sound treats his thoughts like pebbles in a stream, rounding all the edges without asking for anything in return. Breathe in like the tide, breathe out like a bell fading. You are safe, you are quiet, you are here. They continue, boy and wisp and hum. At their ankles, seed lanterns lift from the moss, small globes of warm light that bob like gentle nods. The globes drift behind them in an unhurried parade, content simply to be present. A fallen log lies ahead, softened by time and dressed in foxfire mushrooms. The caps glow the color of cream beneath a candle. When Auren sits upon the log, the hum drops to a deeper tone, as if the grove has pulled its chair closer to hear. He listens. From inside the wood come faint taps, sleeping beetles making a rhythm like rain on far windows. Lumen answers with a single careful ring of light, and the beetles quiet, comforted. On the far side of the log, the brook leans nearer. It writes wide silver letters no one needs to read to understand. Between the letters, pebble-fish glide a finger's length, then settle again, content to be both stone and stream. Auren cups water and drinks. It tastes like pears rinsed in rain, like clouds that have learned to rest upon hills. He lets a BB. Few drops fall from his fingers. Lumen counts them with tiny flares, 1, 2, 3, then dims to a pearl. Breathe in like the tide. Breathe out like a bell fading. You are safe. You are quiet. You are here. The path curves through a cluster of elders, pines older than stories. Their bark is stitched with thin seams of light, as if the moon had mended them lovingly each winter. A breeze arrives not to stir, but to tidy, combing needles, folding shadows, tucking small things under leaf blankets. From branch to branch, a moth constellation travels, pale wings moving slow as thoughts that have learned patience. Lumen rises to greet them, tracing a soft circle that becomes a halo of hush around Auren's shoulders. Inside the circle, every sound is nearer and kinder. The brook's handwriting, the mushroom's quiet contentment, the beetles dreaming of rain. They pause where two trees lean together like old friends. Between them hangs a pocket cloud that has lost its sky. It weeps 3 drops of pearl rain into a cupped fern. Auren sips. It tastes like morning stored safely for later. Thank you, he says, to cloud and fern and night. The hum replies, many trunks speaking the same soft syllable at once. A spider bridge crosses the path, threads of moon silk from fern to fern. Each strand holds a bead of light like a planet choosing peace. Auren bows and steps wide so the bridge can keep its starry sky. Where roots rise like sleeping rivers, star moss makes small constellations at his feet. Lumen drifts low, and kisses the moss with a soft brightness that lingers even after the spirit rises. The constellations stay, small night lights for birds who dream with their eyes open. He rests at a stump wrapped in lichen the color of moon tea. The stump keeps day warmth folded inside and offers it thread by thread. Auren leans back. Lumen floats above his chest, a gentle star that keeps time with his breathing. He thinks of nothing and of everything gentle. Windows that remember rain, blankets that never forget the shape they are keeping, hands warmed by cups, names spoken softly so they can sleep again after they are spoken. The grove hums closer, as if pulling a quilt up to his chin. A cone opens with a silver sigh and releases sleeper seeds that hover undecided in the air. Lumen drifts among them, and they choose his open palm as a place to rest. They glow once, a secret handshake, then become only seeds again, perfectly enough. Breathe in like the tide, breathe out like a bell fading. You are safe, you are quiet, you are here. When he rises, the path greets him like a friend who has saved his place. He walks between trunks that carry memories the way rivers carry skies. Where his Auren shoulder brushes bark, the hum leans nearer, a purr of wood and time. Wind bells appear, little collars of dew at the ends of needles. They ring once as the breeze passes, then rest, letting their notes be adopted by the larger chord of the grove. Lumen echoes each bell with a small bloom of light, and for a moment the night wears a necklace of kind sounds. A clearing waits, not a meadow, simply a place where the pines have stepped back to listen better. Its floor is plush with moss the color of deep memory. A single stone keeps the day's warmth inside it, like a letter on the tongue. Auren sits upon the stone. The brook comes close enough to place a ribbon of silver along the edge of the clearing, and then, polite, keeps to its own side. Above, the moth constellation settles among the boughs like folded paper boats. Lumen draws a slowly widening circle, and within it, light bells breathe up from the earth. Small, round lanterns that chime so quietly, the sound arrives as warmth first. They gather around Auren's knees like kindly stars that prefer company to distance. "Shall we stay a while?" he asks the night. The hum answers with a long, even chord. He lies back, and the moss remembers how to cradle. The air grows the softness of wool. Clouds cross the moon not to hide her, but to make her light a little sleepier. Edges blur, worries forget their names. Auren counts his breaths, 4 in, 5 out. Lumen brightens and dims with the counting, in and out. The light bells follow the same tide, becoming a sea made of patience. From the far side of the clearing, a hush door opens, a silent hinge of shadow where 2 trunks meet. Out steps a pine-born stag, woven of faint silver lines, its antlers full of tiny lantern seeds. It lowers its head, and a few seeds fall, hovering like soft punctuation around Auren's shoulders. Lumen greets the stag with a small bow of brightness. The stag dissolves into humming air, leaving only the comfort of having been gentle. A pocket of frost drifts low, swirling like breath on a mirror. When it touches the moss, it shapes sleep flowers, petals made of cool light that open once, then become dew again. Each opening sounds like the smallest bell imaginable, and the grove borrows those notes for its song. Auren feels the music of wood and water and wind stitched together. The stitches are so soft he cannot see them, only trust them. He lets his eyes close, not to leave the world, but to enter it more quietly. Breathe in like the tide, Breathe out like a bell fading. You are safe, you are quiet, you are here. Time folds itself neatly. The brook writes the same line again because the line is true. Rest is allowed. Wind bells ring once and then become simply dew. Pebble-fish decide to be stones for a while and are pleased with the choice. Lumen settles upon Auren's chest like a thumb-sized star, warming and cooling with each breath. The light is steady, the hum is steady, his heartbeat is steady. 3 threads braided into one calm rope strong enough to hold the night. When he opens his eyes, the clearing has not moved. This is the kindest miracle. The moss is still a cradle, the pines still hold their silver, the sky still wears its careful pins. He rises, the stone gives the last of its day warmth back to his hands as a farewell. Lumen circles once, leaving a faint ring of hush that will linger here until morning. At the edge of the clearing, he places his palm to a final trunk. The grove answers with the gentlest chord yet, not to call him onward, but to promise that the edges of the world will be held steady while he rests whenever he needs to. Auren bows, to tree and moss, to brook and moth, to seed and star and small beetles who dream of rain. Lumen bows with him, a leaf of light folding and unfolding. Breathe in like the tide. Breathe out like a bell fading. You are safe, you are quiet, you are here. They follow the star moss path a little farther, only a little, to where the grove thins and the night becomes a soft hallway to whatever gentle thing waits next. The hum travels with them, behind, beside, within. A lullaby the world hums to itself when it remembers how kind it can be. The grove's hum thins to a memory that lingers in the bark. Lumen drifts lower, a leaf of pearl light, and settles quietly on Auren's shoulder. The roots give way to a slope of moss, and the air grows cooler with the scent of water. Through the trunks, a silver ribbon widens. The sound changes from wood's low chord to the soft handwriting of a stream. Auren steps from needle shadow to open bankside, where pebbles cradle pieces of the moon. The brook keeps itself thin and shining at first, careful not to wake the sleeping stones. Auren kneels at its edge. The night leans closer and folds its arms upon the bank as if to listen. Lumen dims so the water's silver can speak clearly. He cups his hands and lifts a small pool to his lips. It tastes like clouds that have learned to rest on hills, like the softest part of rain. When the drops slip back through his fingers, the surface stitches itself smooth and quiet, even lines. All along the bank, reeds breathe. They write narrow shadows across the brook, and the shadows drift like slow handwriting, crossing and uncrossing without hurry. On the far side, 2 dusk hares sit like folded thoughts. The smallest lifts one ear, hello, and returns it carefully to its place. Auren lowers his face and sees 2 worlds at once, the above world where stars keep patient watch, and the below world where stars learn the art of ripple and return as softened echoes. The reflection of his eyes is ringed with moonlight. It looks back at him without asking questions. He breathes with the water, 4 in, 5 out. In the out-breath, the ripples widen and travel until reeds gently send them home again. A journey made only to learn the taste of calm. From beneath a flat stone, pebble-fish drift, small, content creatures, stones wearing faint fins of light. They move one palm's breadth and settle, pleased with both choices, to be stone, to be stream. Lumen brightens once in greeting and becomes still, a pearl at his shoulder. Overhead, a thin cloud crosses the moon, wrapping the night in softer silver. Spider silk bridges the gap between two ferns, each knot holding a round drop that glows like a tiny planet. The bridge doesn't ask to be crossed, it only asks to be admired. Auren bows. The brook bends and widens. Here the surface becomes a quiet mirror, so smooth that the stars forget their distance and step closer, hand in hand to join their own reflections. Auren moves no faster than moss grows. He follows the mirror bends like gentle commas leading to a soft sentence. He finds a shelf of rock just under the water, warm with stored day. He sits, feet in the brook, and the warmth and cool learn each other without argument. The night approves with a breeze that tidies the reeds and leaves everything as it should be. Breathe in like the tide. Breathe out like a bell fading. You are safe. You are quiet. You are here. From the upstream curve, seed lanterns rise, little globes of warm gold that drift low over the water. Their reflections arrive first, like shy messengers, and the real lanterns follow, pleased to be recognized. They gather around Auren's knees and hover in place, a constellation that has chosen closeness over distance. He touches the surface with one fingertip. The lantern's reflections stretch into long, pale threads and then draw together again, content as breath. Lumen, not to overshadow the scene, dims to a hush that is more feeling than light. Along the bank, star moss glows in small constellations where roots meet water. The patterns change so slowly that to notice them is already to be calmer than before. A soft moth lands on a reed, opens and closes its paper wings, and the reed sways as if nodding yes to a gentle idea. Auren lies back on the moss, head near the waterline so that sky and stream share his gaze. The mirror holds both without complaint. When he blinks, the stars blink. When he sighs, the water makes room for the sigh and gives it back as ripples. He lets his thoughts unlace like old shoes. One thought becomes a leaf and floats. Another becomes the quiet between two notes and rests there. The rest simply dissolve into the mirror, which remembers them kindly and forgets them gently. On the far bank, a reed top balances a single dew bell, a round drop that rings once when the breeze passes, a sound so small it arrives mostly as permission. The permission is to be exactly as slow as you need to be. Auren sits again and trails his toes along the stone shelf. Pebble-fish gather for a moment around the warmth his feet left in the water, then drift back to their patient places. The dusk hairs relax into longer shapes, turning themselves into comma marks at the edge of night sentence. Breathe in like the tide. Breathe out like a bell fading. You are safe. You are quiet. You are here. A pocket of mist wanders down the brook, not to hide anything, only to soften what is already soft. Where it passes, the lantern reflections blur into milky pearls, then return to clarity without effort. Lumen lifts from Auren's shoulder, draws a small circle above the mirror, and sets it gently on the water. The circle widens as a halo of hush, inviting every ripple to join without losing itself. Within the halo, the water's face grows even calmer, a stillness that is awake rather than asleep. The brook offers a small gift. From under an overhang of roots, the current loosens a memory stone, pale and smooth. It bumps Auren's heel once politely. He lifts it from the water. On one side, the stone holds a faint swirl like a curled fern. On the other, a pale ring like a lunar fingerprint. He warms the stone in his palms and returns it to the shelf so it can keep its watch. Downstream, the mirror narrows between two leaning alders that make a doorway of shadow. Auren walks there, counting breaths instead of steps. At the threshold, he pauses. The doorway stays, but he does not need to pass. The world beyond can wait. The world within is enough. Oh. He turns back to a small crescent of shore where the moss gathers as if to cradle. He rests there, shoulder to a root that remembers rain, cheek to the scent of water and pine. Lumen settles on his collarbone, a pearl the size of a thumbprint, rising and falling with his breathing. The brook writes a line it has written all night and will write again tomorrow. It does not tire of true sentences. The sentence says, "Rest is allowed." Auren traces slow shapes above the surface, circle, crescent, small star, and the lantern reflections answer the way kindness answers kindness. Even the moth on the reed seems to glow a little more, without becoming brighter, only more certain of its softness. The dusk hares fold themselves into sleep. The pebble-fish choose to be stones a while longer. The spider bridge holds its jewelry of planets and asks for nothing. Breathe in like the tide. Breathe out like a bell fading. You are safe. You are quiet. You are here. When the moon climbs a finger higher, Auren's eyes grow pleasantly heavy. He lies on his side, one hand in the moss, the other near the water so that cool finds warm without either changing its nature. Lumen dims to a whisper of pearl. The mirror of the brook becomes a soft page turned very slowly. Wind arranges the reeds so their shadows braid and unbraid like gentle thoughts. Stars keep their careful watch, above and below. If you listen with him, you will hear what he hears. The hush that says your body is safe. The quiet that says your thoughts may unlace. The night that says, be the softness you need. Let the water remember your reflection so you do not have to. Let the moss cradle you and the reeds tell the wind to walk gently. Let the lanterns become only glow, and then memory of glow, and then peace. Auren's breath joins the brook's line, in and out, and the world, pleased with this evenness, settles a little deeper and rests. The night is kind, and it keeps its promise. Your breath moves like the tide, in and out, and all the small wonders we met tonight grow quiet beside you. The moss remembers your steps and becomes a cradle once more. The pines keep their low, kind hum, holding the world steady while you sleep. The brook smooths its silver page and writes the same true line. Rest is allowed. If your thoughts still wander, let them walk the soft path once more and return without hurry. Let the ground remember your weight so you don't have to. Let the stars keep watch above and below. Auren rests. Lumen's light becomes a pearl. The world holds the edges steady until morning. You are safe. You are quiet. You are here. When you wish, this path will open again exactly where you need it. The greeting at the gate, the moss beneath your feet, the gentle voice in the pines. Until then, let sleep gather like a soft shawl around your shoulders. Let the night finish its song without words. Good night, dear listener. Rest well, and may the realm of whispers find you whenever you call.